There's a specific reason why your income doesn't increase even though you work hard. And it's not what you think. It's not lack of effort. It's not lack of discipline. It's not lack of dedication. In fact, the more you push yourself without understanding this reason, the worse it gets. Because you're feeding exactly the pattern that keeps you trapped. And nobody told you this. Nobody sat down with you and spoke the truth that burns. You wake up before everyone else. You work harder than everyone else. You deliver more than everyone else. And still, when the end of the month comes and you look at your account balance, that feeling hits. That strange emptiness, that genuine confusion of not understanding why the result didn't come, why the promotion went to someone else, why you're still in the same salary bracket as 3 years ago while you see people who work less earning more. And there's something happening behind the scenes, something they don't teach you in school, something your parents didn't know how to explain to you, something the market hides very well because it's not in their interest for you to discover it. And when you discover it, when you truly understand, everything makes sense. The pieces fall into place, and you realize exactly where you were going wrong. But there's a problem. The truth about this goes against everything they taught you about work, effort, and reward. It goes against the logic they sold you since childhood. And for that very reason, most people reject it when they hear it for the first time. Because it's more comfortable to believe in the known lie than to accept the uncomfortable truth. And if you don't have the stomach to hear hard truths, if you prefer to keep believing that one day they'll automatically recognize your value, then this video isn't for you. But if you're tired of pushing yourself without results, if you want to understand what's really happening, then stay with me until the end. Because in this video, which is part of a series on masculine financial reprogramming, I'm going to show you exactly why your income doesn't increase. And more importantly, I'm going to show you what's invisible to you now, but controls your entire financial ceiling. And when you see this, when you truly absorb it, your way of seeing money, work, and value will never be the same again. Let me paint a picture you know all too well. You arrive at work before most people. Sometimes you didn't even have a proper breakfast because you didn't have time. You sit down, turn on the computer, and you begin. Email after email, meeting after meeting, demand after demand. You solve problems nobody wants to solve. You take on tasks nobody wants to take on. You stay late because there's a deadline, because there's a delivery, because you don't leave things half done. And when you finally leave, when you finally get home, you're exhausted, mentally drained, physically tired, emotionally empty. You barely have energy to talk, barely have energy to do anything besides eating something quick and collapsing into bed. And the next day, it all starts again, week after week, month after month, year after year. You giving yourself, you delivering, you being disciplined, you fulfilling. And the reward? The reward is continuing to do the same thing, continuing to receive the same salary, continuing in the same position, continuing invisible. And then you look to the side. You see that colleague who arrives on time, leaves on time, never takes overtime, never kills themselves working. And they earn the same as you, sometimes even more, because they asked for a raise and had the audacity to negotiate. While you stayed quiet, waiting for them to automatically recognize your value. Or worse, you see people who work less than you, who have less capacity than you, who deliver less results than you, but who somehow manage to rise faster, manage to earn more, manage to be at another financial level. And you don't understand, because in your mind, whoever works more should earn more. Whoever tries harder should rise faster. Whoever is more dedicated should be more rewarded. But that's not how it works. It never was. And the more you insist on this logic, the more frustrated you get. Because you're operating from a belief that doesn't apply to market reality. You're believing in a comfortable lie they taught you to keep you exactly where you are. Because let's be honest, if effort generated income, construction workers would be millionaires. Sanitation workers would be millionaires. Nurses would be millionaires. The people who work the hardest physically, who push themselves the most, who sweat the most, would be the richest. But they're not. And you know why? Because income isn't proportional to effort. Income is proportional to perceived value. And until you understand this, you'll keep killing yourself working and earning little. The market doesn't pay for how much you work. The market pays for how much value what you deliver is worth. And if you're delivering something anyone can deliver, if you're doing something that's easily replaceable, if you're operating in a function that doesn't generate real impact, it doesn't matter how much effort you put in. Your salary ceiling is already defined. And this hurts. Because you were raised believing that if you did the right thing, if you worked hard, if you were honest and dedicated, the result would come automatically. But that's the lie they sold you to keep you productive without questioning, to keep you delivering without demanding more, to keep you small while other people understand the real rules of the game. Comment if you've been through this, or if you're still living exactly this cycle. Now comes the truth. Nobody has the courage to speak because it's more comfortable to blame the system, blame the boss, blame the economy. The problem isn't just external. The problem is also internal. It's the way you were programmed to think about money and value. It's the financial identity you carry without questioning. It's the deep belief that says how much you think you deserve to earn. And this is where most people fail completely. You can take all the courses in the world. You can learn all the negotiation techniques. You can have all the degrees and certificates. But if deep down you still see yourself as someone who needs to accept whatever comes, as someone who can't ask for more, as someone who should settle for the salary they offer you, none of this will work. Nothing. Because you'll sabotage yourself. You'll self-limit. You'll accept bad offers because deep down you don't believe you deserve good offers. You'll avoid asking for a raise because you're afraid of seeming greedy. You'll stay at the same company earning little because you're afraid to risk and lose the security you have. And that fear? That fear isn't rational. It's programming. It's something they taught you without you realizing. Phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to be content with what you have. Don't be too ambitious. Be grateful for the opportunity. There are people who would do your job for less. All these phrases were installed in your mind when you were young. And now, years later, they're still commanding your financial decisions, still telling you not to risk, not to ask for more, not to believe you're worth more. Cal Newport, in Deep Work, talks about how the ability to perform focused work on cognitively demanding tasks is becoming increasingly valuable. But here's the point. He doesn't develop as much. It doesn't matter if you have this capacity, if you don't have the mentality to charge for it. If you don't have the internal identity that says, I deserve to be well paid for this. Because the difference between you and someone who earns 3 times more isn't necessarily technical competence, it's mindset. It's the deep belief that they deserve to earn more. It's the courage to ask for more. It's the clarity about the value they deliver. It's the willingness to leave if they're not valued. And you stay, you accept, you settle, not for lack of capacity, but for lack of internal conviction that you're worth more. And here's the brutal truth. Until you reprogram this, until you change how you see yourself financially, it doesn't matter how much you work. You'll keep earning what your financial identity allows. And if that identity says, I'm a middle-income person who should be grateful for what I have, guess where you'll stay? In middle income. Being grateful. Never truly rising. So the first step isn't to work more. It's not to take more courses. It's not to be more productive. The first step is for you to look in the mirror and question, how much do I really believe I deserve to earn? And why do I believe this? Because the answer to these questions determines your financial ceiling much more than any technical skill you could develop. And if you realize the answer comes from old programming, from beliefs other people placed in you, then you have a choice. You can continue operating from these beliefs and stay exactly where you are. Or you can start reprogramming, start building a new financial identity, an identity that doesn't accept crumbs, that doesn't settle for little, that understands its own value and isn't afraid to demand that value be recognized. If this is making sense, like and follow the channel. This helps this content reach those who need to hear it. Let me ask you a direct question. If tomorrow you lost this job, how much do you think you could earn in the next one? Think carefully. Not the answer that sounds good. The real answer. The answer you truly believe deep down. Because that answer reveals everything. It reveals how much you really believe you're worth. It reveals whether you see yourself as someone valuable or as someone replaceable. It reveals whether you're building real value or just filling a chair. And if the answer scared you, if you thought, probably less, or I don't know if I can get another at the same level, then you already know what the problem is. The problem isn't the market. The problem isn't the economy. The problem is you're not building anything that makes you irreplaceable. You're being a cog, useful, but replaceable. And cogs are paid the minimum the company can negotiate. Because cogs are commodities. They're interchangeable, and commodities compete on price, never on value. So if you want your income to increase, you need to stop being a commodity. You need to stop doing what everyone does the way everyone does it. You need to start building something that truly differentiates you. something that makes people look at you and think, if he leaves, we're in trouble. And this isn't about working more. It's about working differently. It's about developing skills that matter. It's about delivering results that impact. It's about positioning yourself so your value is undeniable. But you don't do that. You stay in your comfort zone. You do what they tell you to do. You fulfill the basics. You deliver what's expected. And you wait for them to recognize your effort. But invisible effort isn't rewarded. It never was. It never will be. So stop waiting for someone to come save you. Stop waiting for someone to automatically recognize your value. Stop waiting for the world to be fair. Because it's not. And the sooner you accept this, the sooner you start playing the real game. Now let's talk about something that changes everything when you understand it. Financial direction isn't about how much you earn today. It's about what you're building that will make you earn more tomorrow. Most men live in a vicious cycle. They work to pay bills. They pay bills to be able to work more. And they never get out of it. They never stop to ask, where does this take me 5 years from now? Because if they look honestly, they'll realize it takes them to the same place they are today. Maybe a little older, maybe a little more tired, but in the same place. And that's terrifying when you stop to think about it. Because it means everything you're doing now, all this effort, all this sacrifice, isn't taking you anywhere different. It's just keeping you in the same position. So if you want your income to truly increase, you need to stop trading time for money and start building compound value. Value that accumulates, that grows, that makes you more valuable over time, not less. And this can be many things. It could be developing a rare skill the market values highly. It could be building a reputation so solid that opportunities come to you. It could be creating something of your own that generates income independent of your time. It could be positioning yourself as an expert in something specific that few people master. But it can't be just doing well what everyone does, because that doesn't differentiate you. That doesn't increase your value over time. That just keeps you competing with everyone who does the same thing. And when you compete with everyone, you compete on price. And when you compete on price, you always lose. So real financial direction is about you asking, what am I doing today that will make me more valuable tomorrow? And if the answer is nothing besides working more of the same, then you already know why your income doesn't increase. Because you're not investing in growth. You're investing in maintenance. And maintenance doesn't generate increases. Maintenance generates stagnation. And stagnation in a fast-changing world is disguised regression. But there's another thing. There's the part nobody wants to hear. The part about charging what you're worth. Because you can be the most competent person in the world. You can deliver absurd results. You can be indispensable. But if you don't ask for a raise, if you don't negotiate, if you don't have the courage to talk about money, you'll keep earning little. Because no company is going to come to you and say, we know you're worth more. Here's double the salary. That doesn't happen. What happens is this. You stay quiet, accepting, being grateful, and they're happy paying the minimum possible. Because from their perspective, if you're accepting it, why would they pay more? So you need to have the uncomfortable conversation. You need to sit down and say, I delivered X, Y, and Z. I generated impact A, B, and C. I deserve to be rewarded for this. And if the answer is no, if the answer is we don't have budget right now, if the answer is stalling, then you leave. You look for who values you. You seek who pays what you're worth. Because staying in a place that doesn't value you is you choosing to earn little. It's you choosing to be invisible. It's you choosing to accept crumbs when you could be building something bigger. And I know this scares you. I know security seems more important than growth. But here's the truth. Security is an illusion. You could be fired tomorrow. You could be replaced next week. There's no real security in depending on a company, a boss, a fixed salary that barely covers your bills. The only real security is you becoming so valuable that you'll always have options. You'll always have somewhere to go. You'll always have someone who wants to pay for what you deliver. And you only reach that point when you stop seeking security and start building value. When you understand this, when you embody this, the question changes. The question stops being, how do I keep this job? And becomes, how do I become so valuable that this job needs to keep me? And when you make that mental shift, everything changes. Your positioning changes, your decisions change, your courage changes, and then your income increases. Not because you worked more, but because you built more, because you valued yourself more, because you stopped accepting less than you deserve. Comment what topic you want me to dive deeper into in the next video of this series. You made it to the end, and that means you really want to change. that you're not satisfied with ready-made answers, that you want to truly understand why things are the way they are. So let me tell you the final truth, the truth that sums up everything. Your income doesn't increase because you're waiting for someone to give you permission to earn more. You're waiting for them to recognize your value. You're waiting for the world to be fair. But the world isn't fair, and nobody's going to give you permission. Nobody's going to automatically recognize your value. You need to build your value undeniably. You need to charge what you're worth without fear. You need to be willing to leave if they don't value you. Because as long as you stay, as long as you accept, as long as you settle, you're saying, I accept earning this. I deserve to earn this. And now that you understand this, now that you've seen the truth behind the lie they sold you, comes the part nobody talks about. The part that separates those who just watch and forget from those who truly transform. Because understanding the problem is just the beginning. The real game starts when you learn to reposition yourself, when you understand exactly which moves to make, which conversations to have, which decisions to take, and especially how to identify the right moment for each of these moves. And there's something specific that every man who got out of middle income did, something they don't mention in interviews, something they don't post on social media, something that happened behind the scenes, away from the spotlight, that changed everything. In the next video of this series, I'm going to show you exactly what it is. I'm going to show you the move nobody teaches you, the move that scares. That goes against everything they told you about security and stability. But that's exactly what separates those who earn well from those who earn exceptionally well. And when you understand this move, when you see how it works, you'll look at your current situation and you'll realize exactly where you're stuck. You'll realize what the real next step is. Not the step that seems safe, the step that actually takes you to the next level. But I need to warn you about something. What I'm going to say in the next video isn't for everyone. It's not for those who just want to complain. It's not for those who want to stay in their comfort zone. It's for those who are truly willing to look at fear and make the move anyway. So if you made it this far, if you really want to get out of middle income, don't stop at today's video, because today you understood why your income doesn't increase. But tomorrow you'll understand exactly what to do to change that. And that changes everything.